Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are also available on Anchor. And if you would like to contact the show about a certain topic you'd like us to cover or appear on the show, hit us up. We're available on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Joining me today, my brother in arms on the show as always, Mark. How you doing, my man?
How's it going, Noel? Thanks for having me on, man.
Very good. Good to have you back on again. This is your Europa League semi-final preview. Two big semi-finals coming up this Thursday. Also, two very defining semi-finals in terms of the careers of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mikel Arteta. Let's start with United. Big game against Roma. Tough side. What you thinking?
Yeah, it's a massive game, though. Massive game. It's going to be really tough. I think they mentioned it last night in the podcast. Roma can go toe-to-toe with anyone in Europe. They've gone through. They've beaten Shakhtar Donetsk and Ajax in the last 16 and quarterfinals to get to the semi-final. So that isn't an easy feat by any stretch of the imagination to do that. They bet Donetsk 5-1 on aggregate. We all know how hard they are to play against, especially away. And Ajax, we know their pedigree, very, very tough to beat. So they've done well. They've a good mix of players. They've some young players in there, and of course they have the likes of the experienced players, the likes of Dzeko, Mkhitaryan, and Mike Smalling.
Yeah, a number of connections there with United, all right, who'll want to put in a performance. Plus, you've Dzeko there, who's ex-City. So
Like I think he was with City 4.5 seasons, and he scored two. He scored a double against us twice. He scored two on that 6-1 game that I don't like to think about too much. So they do. They have quality all over the place. I'm hoping that, like I'm saying, I hope we could start with maybe McTominay and Pogba midfield instead of McTominay and Fred. Hopefully, you might play it that way. Rashford on the left, Bruno on the middle, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani up top. But you just don't know what you do. My heart wants that, but my head is saying that Solskjaer will play McTominay and Fred, two defensive midfielders.
Yeah, certainly the game the other day against Leeds wouldn't be the kind of warm-up game that you would have wanted in terms of bringing confidence into that game on Thursday.
Yeah.
Just very disappointing display.
It was lackluster. I think that'd be the best way to describe it. It looked like an end of a season game. We didn't look, Greenwood had a chance, Bruno had a chance, but to me they were half chances. They weren't clear-cut chances. We looked tired. Wan-Bissaka had a decent game. I think he was the only one to have a decent game, and he's been looking tired for a while. So hopefully,
yeah, looking at Chris Smalling, he's been outstanding since he went there, hasn't he? I think he was voted one of their players of the year or something. Was it last year in his first season?
He's done really well, and I think he's missed 6 games there with an injury. I think the game he played there on the weekend was his first game back. He came from Fulham, signed for us. He was decent. Him and Jones never really worked out in the middle together, but it just shows you. It's like Ashley Young as well. When he went, the confidence you show when you're going elsewhere. He's really turned out to be a decent defender.
Yeah. What you think of a lot of the talk this week is surrounding around Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and there's been a lot of talk obviously in around Varane and Eric Boy re-signing, and is it the right thing to do with a player that's so injury prone, giving him a 4-year contract? Is this a different direction in terms of transfers for United? But what's your feeling around Solskjaer in these semi-finals and all this talk that he can't seem to get by?
Yeah, it's a hoodoo, isn't it? After, remember his kind of first proper game in charge was against PSG in the Champions League. Rashford with that last minute penalty, and you thought we could have went all the way. It hasn't happened. It's one of those things that it kind of sticks in your head that we haven't got by a semi-final. I said it last night in the Monday mashup. I think for people to start taking him serious as a next level manager, he has to get to a final. He has to win a trophy, and we just haven't been able to do it. I think this is a good opportunity because, like I'm saying, Roma have leaked goals in the last few games against a lot lower teams. And don't get me wrong, we're the same. If you look at the first leg against Sociedad, I know we won 4-0, but we started very bad. Sociedad could have had, if you remember, they could have had 2 goals in the first 7 minutes. Granada were the same. They could have had 3 goals in the first 15 minutes or so. So we need to start off on the front foot because Roma will take advantage of that. And yeah, like I said, it's an ideal opportunity to get.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think if you weren't to get to the final at least or win the tournament, I mean, how do you feel this would reflect on Solskjaer? I mean, I mean, the Ollie Ouders will have a field day.
Oh, they definitely will. But like you look at it, we're in second place. We're 5 points ahead of Leicester at the minute. You know, for a week there, we thought we might have been able to catch City, but before the lead draw the other night. But again, you like I mentioned last night, you look at our away record this season; it's unbelievable. But we need to, yeah, the perfect opportunity I thought would have been to beat Leicester in the semi final there, the FA Cup, get to the final. But this is equal as a big opportunity to get it. He needs to get that monkey off his back. He needs to get to a final to prove himself as a top class manager. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I think if he was to stumble against Roma now, I think I mean the club would have to start asking questions, wouldn't they? Although they're second to
Mm.
City, the gap is still monumental, really, when you think about it. I mean, the discussion with
Mm.
Pogba the other day about a title race was very short lived.
Yeah. No,
Reality.
look, I think that, like, I think a few fans, I didn't really get thrust into it. I'm just happy if we can cement second place Champions League football next season, and obviously, hopefully, get to a final as well.
Yeah. Is your feeling with Solskjaer still to stick with him? Is that your overall feeling? Is to stick with him, or
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
you think he's
um,
still the man?
yeah, I do. To be honest with you, like, he hasn't really done too much this season to make me think otherwise. He's probably hasn't, like, we need a few players in. We've talked about it on the program before. We need a few players in. I think if we could strengthen at the back, maybe up front if Cavani doesn't go. But I do think he is the man going forward. And you look out there at the moment, there's not a lot of world class managers. We're not going to go for Jose again, but there's not a lot of world class managers out there, isn't there? Not, like,
Yeah, no, that's true. There's not a lot of availability, really. Well, and not at the right price anyway, because managers these
Ex-
days nearly seem to be generating the same money as players.
Exactly, and to be honest with you, because he's been with us since the academy, I know we went off to Malta and Cardiff and all, but he's bringing the youth in. You can see it with Shorter and a few of the other lads. He's bringing them in, and he's going to give them an opportunity, and that's what the DNA of Manchester United is: get these young, exciting players in, and that's what he's all about. You're probably seeing it less under the likes of Jose Mourinho and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder with Darren Fletcher going in there as well. Is there a change of transfer strategy, if you like? If are they trying to kind of, rekindle nearly that kind of class of '92 again, and trying to do it in a different way than to have to spend millions and millions and millions, especially at a time when you look at Pogba, still indifferent about whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to go, and just sitting on the kind of fence.
Yeah.
Something tells me he's going to have an ace in the sleeve, and he's going to just see his contract down and walk on a free for some reason. I just get that feeling with him. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah. You just won't know what he's thinking from one week to the next, and especially with his agent and his there as well.
yeah. Well, you kind of get the feeling with him. He never really cares. You know what I
No,
mean?
no.
Never deep down cares. You know what I mean? Like you kind of look at Bruno Fernandez, who's gone in there. He's only there, 18 months or whatever it is, a real short time. You know what I mean? And like he's been
Yeah.
absolutely outstanding. And yeah, he's suffering at the moment from a bit of burnout, but he's suffering from burnout because he carries the weight of that team on his shoulders since he's gone in there. And like,
Definitely.
but you can see it in him, like even when the team scores, what it means when he celebrates, when they win, and how disgusted he is at draws and losses when they lose and draw. Um,
Yeah.
Pogba, there's no emotion to him really in terms of any of it. If you win,
No.
grand. If you lose, grand. It doesn't matter to him. Like it's the same deal to him, really, by the looks of things. Uh,
Yeah, like you look at it, Bruno is the workhorse, and Pogba's a show pony. That's the way you'd
yeah,
look at it.
yeah. What's your prediction for this one coming up on Thursday?
Oh, it's tough. We've players there that have experience playing against, playing in Italy, the likes of Pogba, Cavani, Bruno, Telles, Amad Diallo's come in. So we have experience there that know what Roma are going to be like. Like I said, they conceded, 6 goals in the last few games against lower teams. Hopefully, we can start in the front foot. Hopefully, Pogba starts. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw on Thursday.
Yeah, you're being a bit pessimistic there because you know how predictions on this show have gone for the whole season.
Yeah,
We've been
that's
absolutely.
exactly it.
You nearly think we know nothing about football with the
I
predictions that we
know.
put out
I
there.
was gonna say 0-0, but no, 2-2. Hopefully, we can get 2 away goals, take it back to Old Trafford, and maybe get a 2-1 win over there.
Yeah, Ted from Retrotainment on the network, who goes back and looks at retro movies and stuff like that, reminded me today on our Carabao Cup final preview just how bad our predictions are. Where we said there'd be lots of goals, and
Yeah,
I said
yeah, yeah.
Spurs by penalties. Now, in fairness, I wasn't far off Spurs by penalties. In fairness,
No, yeah, yeah,
we were
yeah.
7 minutes
1-0.
away from it, so it wasn't too bad.
But
Let's
no,
move.
I think when you, sorry, no, I was just going to say we are, there's great attacking options for us, and you have the likes of, Pastore coming in, El Shahari for Roma. So hopefully it is an end-to-end game, and hopefully there is some goals for the away team.
Yeah. Let's move on to the other semi-final. Arsenal Villarreal.
Yeah.
Arsenal again. Again, as we say, lackluster on Friday night. Absolutely awful against Everton. Just no one showing up. Again, they might have had one eye on the semi-final coming up. Who knows? Because they're clearly out of a top 4 race, and more than likely probably even out of a top 6 race, to be honest.
Yeah. It is. It's definitely Europa League or bust for them now, 100%. Yeah, you could see it the way they played on Friday. I know I said in jest last night that hopefully Villarreal win, but I think Arsenal will show up for these 2 games because they know this is their season. They've some Smith Rowe, Saka, Aubameyang, Lacazette. You look at these players on paper and you think they should be good enough to beat Villarreal over 2 legs. The only kind of thing you think going for Villarreal is Unai Emery knows Arsenal inside out after being in over there for a few years. And obviously, I've spoke before about him being with Sevilla and the Europa League and what it means to him. So it is going to be a tough game. But I think the showing that Arsenal put there on Friday, I don't think that. I think in their minds the league is out. No interest in the league and just concentrating the Europa League.
Yeah, it's kind of all or nothing for them. Not dissimilar to Solskjaer with the semi-finals. If Arsenal were to bomb out of this tournament, notwithstanding the effect of Unai Emery and the history there and the connection, would be kind of very embarrassing. But would that spell the end for Arteta, do you think? Would they have ran out of patience, the Arsenal fan base?
I think so. I do think so. They don't seem the type to have too much patience. And it's been a frustrating season for them because, like I said, this is all they've had to play for now is the Europa League. At the start of the season, they probably thought they would have got to another FA Cup final, maybe a League Cup. They'd be around the Champions League spots, especially with Arteta coming in and the kind of, he being a former player and stuff like that. But I definitely do think he'll be in big trouble if they don't win and get to the final.
Yeah, I just cannot understand Arsenal's form this season. I mean, they have all the talent in the world on the pitch. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you got Saka there, who's outstanding. They brought in Nicola Pepe, who's, on his day is unplayable. They brought in Thomas Partey, who's top notch. Xhaka came back after all that hassle with the fans and all that kind of stuff, stripped of the captaincy and all. He's been really good for them this season at times. Aubameyang obviously has been that sort of missing piece, really. He's been sort of indifferent this season, let's say. He's had a number of issues. Obviously went off to play with Gabon and caught malaria. There's obviously was COVID issues, I think, and stuff like that as well. Lacazette has kind of been in and out of the team, but at times when he's come in, he has shown some of the brilliance that he has. Other times he's come in and he's just sort of going through the motions. Leno, he's a decent keeper. Doesn't make a huge amount of mistakes normally,
Yeah.
So they have.
I was going to say I think they missed a trick and let Martinez go to Villa. He would have been class to get in there if Leno was having a few bad games. And also they've been chopping and changing at the back all season as well. You've had the likes of Holden in there, Gabriel's been in there. He came in and the first game against Fulham, they had a away in Craven Cottage. I thought, geez, he's going to be a good centre half, but he has made a good few mistakes, giving away a few penalties on that this season. It might take him a while to settle in, but there definitely has been inconsistencies at the back, and that's from Leno to the back 4.
Yeah, he went on a run of about 4 or 5 games there where he was really good, but in recent times, his confidence kind of has been shot. It's as if he's questioning his own ability. There's no
Yeah.
doubt he's a good player, but and like being there beside David Luiz as well. I mean, he should like I mean, the experience that he has should
Mm,
be able to see it through games. He should be that man at the back that's marshalling the back four, if you like.
yeah.
Holding came in for a while and did okay, and
Yeah.
then kind of fell away as well. At one stage,
Yeah.
Holding's form was looking like as if he was like nearly captain material. Um,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't like. I think he's a bit of a Gary Neville. Like, oh well, not sorry for the passion. He's a Gary Neville, but what he lacks in kind of footballing ability, he makes up in the passion for playing for the crest. Like, which is great
yeah,
to see. Tierney obviously before his injury, he was probably one of the best left fullbacks that they've had over the last few years as well since Cashley Cole. So. Um,
probably one of the best in the league at the time when he's on form.
Yeah, definitely,
You know?
definitely. Like, because there was a lot of question marks over him. You come from the Scottish League, you do all right up there, and people say, he'll never make it in the Premier League. He has. Remember that goal he got against West Brom there? I think it was in November or December. Quality,
Yeah.
absolute quality.
Yeah, I think for a guy like him, it's a weird one as well because when you do see some of those injuries coming through and stuff like that, that sort of position that he plays not dissimilar to Robbo or Trent at Liverpool or Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw at United.
Yeah,
It's a working position, isn't it? There's a lot of wear and tear, a
yeah,
lot of mileage goes on the clock. So that would
exactly.
be a little bit concerned. And then of course, they don't know how to make up their mind really about Chambers and Bellerin and stuff like that. I think Bellerin has
Yeah.
expressed that he kind of wants to leave and he wants to go back to Spain this summer and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yet, when he's not in the team, when he's in the team, you're kind of not sure what he brings. And when he's not in the
Yeah,
team, you kind of realize why you miss him. It's kind of a weird conundrum there in that position.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So but this is going to be a real test for them. I mean, Villarreal are no slouches, plenty of goals in that team.
Mm.
The Unai Emery effect, I mean, he'll have those boys fired up because he does feel like he was hard done by at Arsenal, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
what's your prediction on this one?
To be, ooh. Like I was saying, the in-laws are our Arsenal fans, so I can't really say anything other than a Villarreal win. But I do think Arsenal are going to win over the two legs. I do. I think Villarreal might sneak a 1-0 win tomorrow, and then Arsenal win it back in the Emirates.
Are we looking at an All England final?
I think so. Yeah, I think both sides, Champions League and Europa League. It'd be interesting. But like I said, it's that thing. Like Arsenal were 1-0 up against Slavia Prague, and it just takes a moment of madness, and Slavia Prague are back in the game, albeit they went over there and annihilated them in the second leg. But you just don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up, don't you know? That's the thing. Like,
That's the Arsenal they need to show up on Thursday, or
yeah, definitely.
the tie could be out of sight. They need to be really
Yeah,
careful.
exactly.
Because the one thing you get with Villarreal is you do get goals. Defending
Yeah,
maybe a
yeah,
little bit iffy, but you definitely do
mm,
get goals. Which has been a trait for Emery even at Sevilla. You were always able to
yeah,
score against them, but they were always able to come back and score that one or two more.
exactly. Yeah,
That was a trait with them. It'd be an absolute madness, wouldn't it, if both European finals had 4 English teams in it?
yeah.
When you
It'd be
think of
crazy, wouldn't it?
when you think of the craziness of this season and what a lot of those teams have gone through, we spoke the other night on the mashup about like Chelsea, like only changing their manager in January or whatever it was. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he get them to a Champions League final and potentially win it. It'd be just a
It's
madness.
crazy, isn't it? And they've the FA Cup final as well against Leicester. Like, so,
Yeah,
imagine 2 trophies in 5 months.
yeah.
They'd be building a statue outside Stamford Bridge by the end of June for them.
I know, yeah. And then when you think about it, if you have like Arteta versus Ollie, it'd be like P45 versus P45 in the final, really. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
that's it.
absolute madness.
But it's great for the league, though, isn't it? Like if both, like all four clubs got to the final of the
Yeah,
European competitions, it'd be
yeah.
great for the league, and hopefully it works that way. Like I said, it depends what Arsenal show up, and hopefully we can break the semi-final hoodoo.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because with Arsenal, you see, there would be a lot on the line. It's not just the fact of winning a European trophy, but it's the fact of getting that Champions League spot. Whereas
Yeah,
with
exactly. Yeah,
United, they already have their Champions League spot. I mean, top four is done at this stage, if you
yeah,
like.
yeah.
For them, it's really about Solskjaer getting into a final, taking that next step, and potentially winning a trophy. To cement
Exactly.
the pathway that he's on there career-wise at United.
Yeah.
But two definitely intriguing semi-finals, and
What do you think yourself now? What the firstly Arsenal and Villarreal? What way do you see that going?
I think with Arsenal and Villarreal, I would hope that Arsenal will come through. Because I think, to be honest, in terms of the fan base, and I think in terms of, I mean, I know people aren't happy with Cronky, but they have invested. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
spent money. They have bought players.
yeah,
It's about time the Parteys and the Pepes and the Aubameyangs and the Lacazettes. It's about time they showed up on a big stage there and gave something back to the fans, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah,
they're on big money. Willian as well, big money. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's about time to give something back to a fan base that's like, been chasing it down now for a while. Plus, it will
yeah,
be
yeah,
massive for Arsenal as well in terms of, the Champions League and the money that comes with that. So it's a massive, massive final if they were to get to the final.
yeah,
I'm just not too sure. I suppose the other, double-edged sword to this is if they did get to the final and win the Champions League spot, I mean, Kroenke then ain't going anywhere, is he? I just can't see them having any hope at all of changing the ownership there at the top if success starts to come back in. You know what I mean? It would cement Arteta in there. I mean, obviously on the back of an FA Cup win, um, and then potentially delivering a European trophy and a Champions League spot. I mean, when you talk about building
mm,
trophies or building statues, you know what I mean? I mean, he'd be back again, the blue-eyed boy, really. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I've just a sneaky feeling about Emery in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think the first two semi-finals I think will be close enough. I don't think anything will be decided. And I think when it goes to the second legs, I think that's when it's going to get really, really interesting.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's like he has a point to prove when he plays against Arsenal.
yeah, and he'll want to do so good at the Emirates as well, won't he? You know what I mean? Just to really stick the knife in, really. But yeah, two tantalizing semi-finals. Absolutely going to be, as I said already, it's a festival of
Mm,
football this week. Champions League tonight and tomorrow night, Europa League
that's it.
Thursday night, and then we're back into the swing of the Premier League again straight away. Big game Sunday, which we will be previewing.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a million for coming on. As always, head over to YouTube, smash the subscribe
Cheers for
button,
having us. And
not a bother, Mark. Dynamo Podcast Network, Anchor for the audio
thanks for
versions
having
of
us.
our shows, and obviously Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to hit us up on the show. We will chat to you again real soon. Cheers, bud.